Hey guys, I want to do a quick video on Twitter here because I've been getting a lot of questions on it, and so I figured I'd cover it. So last week I was kind of pessimistic on Twitter, where I said I thought it would drive a little bit lower, and that my expectation was it would get down to 22.23, and that we would have a nice low entry buy. And obviously that didn't happen. But I want to quickly walk through why I was looking to buy Twitter and what my expectation is now. So if you look at the last 2 months prior to this month, August and September here, you can see that in each of these 2 months, we got candles that were indicators of potential reversal. So if you know anything about candle patterns, I don't put a lot of heavy weight on them, but I like to look at them as helpful indicators as to where markets may be looking to reverse. And when you see hard selling, when you start to see things like hammers here or spinning tops towards the end of that trend, that is generally an indicator that the market, that particular market, may be looking to reverse this trend. So when I saw these two candles from August and September, I started to think, okay, maybe the bottom has been made here for Twitter, and so I should watch it for a potential buy. And so I started drilling back and I looked at the weekly chart. And when I looked at the weekly chart, you can see that, here's that absolute bottom that it made, and then it went up and it kind of consolidated for 3 weeks and it started to come down. And then you can see that if I take my fib and I go from that low to this high, that in that time, it basically rallied up. It's not a perfect drawing, but you get it. In that time, it rallied up and then it pulled down into that 50 to 618 area, which we know to be an area where markets tend to find support or resistance. In this case, support. So on Friday, when this started moving, I realized that we were at the 50% retracement, and I said, I'm going to grab some now. Now, I didn't get a full position, but my thought process was, let me get some now, and if it comes a little bit lower, I will add to that. And so that's what I did. I bought some. And then what started happening was we started seeing the Twitter just start pushing. And part of that is due to the news that obviously Jack Dorsey returning to Twitter. And so, people are more optimistic on the company. And so over the last couple of days here, we've seen Twitter essentially explode, right? It bounced up on Friday, and then Monday it jumped, and then Tuesday it's kind of sat sideways, and then today it's jumped. And now you can see it's broken through 29, right? I've got this horizontal line here. And earlier today, I tweeted that if this thing breaks above 29, look for it to move very quickly. And so it did break above 29. It's closed above 29 here. And I've got my fib drawn from before, and you can see from that low to the high. And I've got an extension built in here. And essentially the rule is, based on my findings, is that when a market breaks that structure and holds, there's a 70% chance it's going to get to that 127. So based on my analysis, there's a 70% chance it's going to get to the 127. If it can break and close above the 127, there's about a 60% chance it's going to get to the 1618, which is around high 33s. And so my thought process now is, there's a very high chance it's going to get here. And if it can break through here, there's a good chance it'll get here. So what I'm trying to do at this point is buy any potential pullbacks up into those levels. Because when I go back and I look at the monthly chart here, right? So I'll get rid of this fib just to make things a little bit cleaner, right? You can see here that I drew a bigger one from the high down to this low. And at the very minimum, I expect it to get down to this, up to this 382 level, which is the very minimum. If there's any significant strength at all, then this thing is going to start pushing into that 50% and perhaps that 618, very much like it did right here. See how it went high down to low? And then what happened? It rallied all the way up into here before collapsing again. So my expectation at the very minimum is 382 at the very, very minimum. And then a move up into 50% and perhaps even to 618, which is still a good $10 or so away. So it's a longer term play. It might take a few months to pan out. But what I'm essentially looking for is any buying opportunities on the daily to get in on this as it continues to move up. I did not get a full position, but I want to keep adding until I have one because I have a strong expectation that that's where we're going to go. All right. Hope that helps.